Hello, everyone. This is me. Let's just call me Jay for now. Anyway, I've been thinking about multiple themes for Christmas. I'm like, I want to try and decorate it. I tried using concepts. I deleted that again. I just don't flow. I told my sister, my artist sister, my professional graduated from artist with a degree in art sister. I said, what's an app I can use? She says, Procreate. I say, don't you pay for that? She says, yes. And then she's looking in the app store. Oh, you can also use Sketchbook. So Sketchbook it is. Immediately more intuitive. Immediately more intuitive. Of course, I had to ask her, but I didn't have to ask her as many questions as I would have had to. So at this point, this is not us at the start. We had already imported the file, the picture of the Christmas tree, and had already come up with some base layers. Here is the base layer for the lights, because the whole thing is, do I want warm lights or do I want green lights? Okay, so I'm just drawing the layers of the lights, the gold warm lights here, and then shortly after I do the green lights. Okay, so we're moving on to the next layer, and I'm trying to figure out why, though I've selected this lovely green, it's coming out yellow with at most a green outline. And I think previously my sister had it on a glow setting. I guess with the glow setting, the color changes the outline. Okay, I guess, whatever. But that really wasn't gonna work. So I called my sister over. I had her play around. I really wasn't sure. Couldn't tell you now myself how you fix things. But with her help, I was able to kind of figure things out. Anyway, she kind of did these swatches for me because I was telling her as we were going along, no, not this green, lighter than this green, that green, la da da da. Eventually, she picks the green, and we get to work. And then so here you just see me adding here and there some extra dots to represent the green light glow. And so at this first pass, we're trying both lights on, green and gold. How is that looking? It's looking like something. It's not looking the worst. Okay, but, I guess I thought maybe there'd be more contrast immediately in my mind between like green and gold. At least, again, on this visual imagined representation. It's not. Some might like both, right? And I'm going back to my sister as we're doing the whole thing. I'm like, which do you like? Do you like the green more? Do you like the gold more? I think generally she liked both of them together, but that was maybe more evident later on. And so two things I want to say. One, this tree is not a representation at all of the silhouette of the form that I imagine as my intended tree. So if you want to do something really would be accurate, I guess you would want to get a picture of your would-be tree. But I'm just going for general vibe, general gist, right? And then secondly, I guess Sketchbook, at least with screen record, doesn't really show the actual process of each layer being created for whatever reason, but okay, I guess that works. So I had made another layer of black bows, and that's really the main element I keep seeing, or I guess I keep imagining, are these black velvet type, matte type bows as my main like black element for the tree, which is funny because I don't really like velvet so much. But I think in bows, it's just, I guess I did have some velvety bows last year, so maybe in Christmas themed things, it's a different case. But here's my bow layer, and I quite like this, right? And I think my whole thing with black on green trees is already when you have the little inner, especially on an outlet tree, when you have the inner pockets where the light is fading, it's already like the shadow, right? So it's not like black on green is something so far-fetched for me. And then as I just said, screen record with Sketchbook doesn't really show the creation of each layer. So I'm gonna let you know now that I did go ahead and then make another layer that was meant to represent ribbon. And I don't know if I entirely like the way it came out. I really had to rely on my sister's encouragement of like, oh, it works, to really be like, okay, I can, I guess, kind of see it. Anyway, then I tried to, or I did, make an ornament layer, which I promptly deleted because I didn't like how it was looking, because I incorrectly drew my ornaments without considering the other layers. So I went back and did it again. Again, you won't see it here, the drawing of those layers, but I did do two layers, one with green ornaments and one with black ornaments. And, I think that works for me. I did have to reshuffle the layers to get them laying how I wanted, right? And I think that's also At least I try to be reflective of how it would be that I would be putting these elements on the tree, right? Because I'm going to put the lights on first. Then I might put on ornaments and whatnot. But you'll see that later. Here I was changing the blending from normal to darken because I was feeling like the bows weren't popping up enough against the layers to represent the lighting. Eventually that would be fixed with an opacity change, but I put it back to normal because I really wasn't seeing a difference anyway. So my underlayers, the ones representing the lights, got opacity changes, as did the layer representing the ribbons. I think the opacity for the ribbons was a bit higher than the lights. Makes sense. So here's how that's looking with the ribbon less opaque. So I'm not really sure at this point what other elements I do. I'm like, maybe it's a topper I need. This base tree this picture I got, it's, it has that little pointy, okay. I'm not really a topper girl, I feel like, but I'm like, maybe I could be in this colorway, in this color scheme, this color schema, right? So, a green topper. Not that I've ever seen one, but if I would get one, definitely wouldn't be some glitter up thing. First of all, if you're new to my media circle, I hate glitter. So nothing here is meant to represent glitter. But that's that. The green topper atop the green tree was not looking at least for this visual representation, I needed to have a dark outline, right? Because the star of the show in a green and black Christmas tree theme is the black. Okay, it needs to pop off. It needs to highlight the green and vice versa. So I had to go in here with a smaller tip size, whatever have you call it. So that's what I did. So the horizontal ribbon, okay, was looking very, oh come ye, all ye gentlemen, good king Wenceslas, Victorian, minimalistic, wooden block Christmas, and I'm not about it. I'm like, I'm also not sure though, because the majority of ribbon videos you see, they're vertical straight down, which is a rarity, or vertical at an angle, and I don't necessarily know that I like that regardless. But I'm like, let me see what that looks like. And I was telling my sister, it looks like a wrapped Christmas tree. So eventually I did away with this layer, but I had to explain it. And so, yes, I was not really happy with the vertical ribbon layer, but we have hide the layer for a reason. So before I decided to be done with it, I was playing with turning layers on and off. Do I like this? Do I like this look? Which lights do I want? Just one light, both lights, two lights, etc., etc. I didn't want my work going to waste, right? Before I decided absolutely no. But that's the benefit. And again, something you won't see at this point, I had already cleared the vertical ribbon layer. I wasn't entirely sure. I had suspicions because I feel like I had seen it before when I held it really quick. But I cleared the layer. I wasn't sure how you delete the layer. Long story short, you just hold the layer. And where the plus button is to add a layer, a garbage can will appear. Anyway, then I'm like, okay. What about, a base, a tree ring, whatever. And I feel like even though I'm like, ooh, gold lights, I feel like silver slate, metallic. I mean, not necessarily metallic, but silver slate color-wise is the only kind of color that goes here for me. Okay, a green wouldn't work. Black wouldn't work. It had to be silver for me. Okay, and I feel like even if you have like depending on the finish of the silver, that goes fine with warm lights. It goes fine with warm lights. Cool lights would be too much. Would be absolutely too much. Okay, so here I am just drawing the is it tree ring? I feel like it's something else you call it, but the base, the tree base, whatever you want to call it. And I was wanting to give it some dimension, so I was playing around to add a different gray atop, little lines and whatnot. Eventually you see me do that, blah, blah, blah. Just like the topper needed that black outline to make it pop in this visual representation, I needed to have some dimension, some depth with this base. So you see, that's why we're drawing this grid on the bottom. Now, the eagle-eyed observers will have noted by now that while I said green and black ornaments, at this point I did not have the black ornament layer on. So this is me making the black ornament layer. You see I have the layer. I've moved the layer underneath the ribbon. Okay. And so here are all of the layers. We've got our tree ring, we've got both pairs of lights, we've got our ornaments, green and black, we've got our ribbon, we've got our topper. Could I have added more black elements? Sure. I don't think, however, that when I see black and green, I'm thinking floral picks of any kind. I'm sure I could add, and who knows what that might be. But I am thinking green and black, and then maybe some middle highlights. Maybe besides the tree ring, I would add brass type highlights. I don't know that I would or not. Um, anyway, yeah, and besides the screen record not being the best and showing the actual process here, I think Sketchbook as an app is pretty solid and a lot more intuitive than Concepts was for me. A lot of this helped when my sister decided to whip out her iPad stylus, and the drawing was made a lot easier. So yeah, there's that.
I think it's a good alternative to Procreate. It's got a lot of the same tools. It's got a lot of the same blending options. You still got your layers. I think if I played in it some more, I would see that it was pretty much exactly the same. But yeah, it's a good app.
Okay, thanks for the words from the artist. Yes. And so, thanks friends for watching. I think I have a couple other trees I might like to, or rather, excuse me, other color themes I might like to play around with in this app. I am using this again on the tablet, and this has been fun. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.